The officer's voice still echoes in my mind, low and deliberate, as if the night itself could overhear. Sir, you need to hear me clearly. Don't return to your house. Find a secure place. My fingers tightened on the dashboard, my body rigid. My wife sat stiffly behind the wheel, her hands gripping it so tightly her knuckles gleamed pale. I pressed him for an explanation. He flicked his gaze to her, then back to me, his jaw tightening before he handed me a folded slip of paper instead of a reply. Read it when you're alone, he murmured. The patrol car's flashing lights bathed her face in alternating red and blue, and in that stark glow, I caught something unfamiliar in her expression, fear, but not the kind tied to a traffic violation. It was deeper, laced with guilt. I tucked the note into my pocket, steadying my tone. Is everything okay, officer? His eyes wavered briefly before he stepped back. Drive carefully. We pulled away, the silence between us heavy. For a decade I had faith in her, in the life we'd built together. Our marriage was woven from daily rituals. Morning coffee at 7, quick texts during lunch breaks, dinners delayed by what she called late work hours. In public she glowed with warmth, in private she seemed utterly devoted, or so I believed. I overlooked the subtle signs. The fragrance I didn't gift her, the weekends she craved solitude, the newfound passion for jogging despite her hatred for it. When friends hinted at doubts, I brushed them off. She loves me, I'd insist. I trust her completely. I was blind. That night, after she drifted into sleep, I crept into the bathroom, locked the door, and unfolded the officer's note. 7 words scrawled in hasty ink. She's not who she claims to be. Below it, a phone number for a detective. Sleep eluded me. I lay beside her, staring at the shadowed outline of her form beneath the sheets, questioning who I'd truly been sharing my life with. The next morning, I dialed the detective. His voice was measured, guarded. You need to know she's living a double life. She's entangled with dangerous people. He offered no specifics but provided enough: names, locations, a chronology that tore my last 10 years into fragments. Her late nights weren't at the office. Her errands weren't mundane. She was orchestrating schemes, money laundering illicit deals, slipping into a criminal world as effortlessly as changing clothes. I was her alibi, the facade of normalcy she wore. Worse still, she wasn't just deceiving me. She was planning her exit. Our joint accounts were quietly siphoned, the house remortgaged without my knowledge. Every supposed overtime shift was another step toward abandoning me, with someone else waiting in the wings. I didn't lash out or confront her. That's what she'd anticipate. Instead, I grew quiet, observant, strategic. I mirrored her smiles, while secretly I tracked her every move. Hidden cameras went up in the house. I monitored her phone during her so-called jogs. I accessed her emails. What I found could have broken me, but I forged it into a tool of retribution. Bank transfers to accounts under aliases, recordings of her hushed talks with strangers, photos of her entering hotels she claimed never to have visited. I pieced together her betrayal, building an ironclad case. Then I planned my vengeance. First, I secured my finances, silent withdrawals, new accounts, leaving no trace for her to follow. Second, I stored the evidence in multiple encrypted locations, each set to release automatically if I met an untimely end. Third, I contacted the detective. I wasn't content to simply turn her in. I wanted her world to crumble gradually, to feel the weight of her own exposure. He cautioned me. This path is a one-way street. My response was firm. I had no intention of turning back. It began subtly. One evening, she came home, tossed her bag onto the counter, and froze when she spotted an envelope. Inside was a photograph of her with her criminal associate, time-stamped and geotagged. No message, just undeniable proof someone was watching. I observed her unraveling. Her laughter became strained, her nerves frayed at every phone call, her eyes darting to check her surroundings. It was exactly as I'd planned. The following week, another envelope arrived, bank records, transactions in her own handwriting. Then a third, with a recording of her voice plotting in a hotel room. By the fourth delivery, she stopped eating, stopped sleeping. She suspected betrayal from within her own circle, lashing out at allies, severing ties, sinking deeper into paranoia. All the while, I sat across from her at dinner, calmly asking about her long work hours. The climax came on a stormy Thursday. She burst into the kitchen, eyes wild, clutching the latest envelope. It held divorce papers, already signed by me, with our assets safely out of her grasp. "You did this," she demanded, her voice trembling. I leaned back in my chair, composed. "Did what?" Her hands shook, the papers crumpling in her grip. "You think you can destroy me?" I stood, crossed the room, and whispered in her ear, "You destroyed yourself. I just exposed the truth." That night the police arrived, not for me, but for her. The detective had kept his word. My evidence was unassailable, and her former allies abandoned her the moment her facade collapsed. I stood in the doorway as they led her away in handcuffs, her face streaked with mascara, her eyes vacant. She never once looked at me. In the weeks that followed, the house was cloaked in silence. Friends asked if I was coping, if I longed for her. Honestly, I felt nothing. No sorrow, no relief, only a piercing clarity. I had loved a mirage, a fiction woven from deception. The woman I thought I'd married was a lie. The real one was gone, locked away, or perhaps facing worse from the associates she'd betrayed. Sometimes I wonder if she thinks of me in her cell, if she relives the moment she realized I was the one pulling the strings. I hope she does. For 10 years she manipulated me. But in the end, I crafted the final act, and I harbor no regrets.